Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, this is going to be a fun topic. Now, you guys might be wondering why I even say that, or why I say it like that, because this is the motherlode right here, right now, of the big PlayStation 5 and Xbox drama. Now, as you guys probably know, I'm kind of on the middle side, where it's kind of fun to discuss in terms of sales, or profitability, or the future of the companies, or brand new games, or leaks, or everything that is coming out on, well, gaming as a whole. I like that vibe, and I enjoy it, but I'm not really someone who is the biggest PlayStation or the biggest Xbox fan. I just like good games, and at the end of the day, I don't mind a little tomfoolery and discussing it because it's fun. It's fun, as long as people get like a little bit more on the chill side. But right here, right now, we have some of the biggest Twitter, both bait, as well as also one of the biggest Twitter kind of back and forth that we've been seeing right now so far when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox. And for this, it's a little bit on the intriguing side over here because it's bringing up some of the more scary things, where number one, it kind of seems like the Xbox console as a whole might be a little bit on the faltering side, which I almost want to do a hardcore dedicated video on, but as well, it kind of goes to show that there's so much back and forth between the PlayStation and Xbox where it's almost to the point where it's ridiculous, and I don't even know how to title this video. But there's a lot of kind of fun stuff we could talk about, so I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on all this down below as we kind of give this big tussle back and forth between PlayStation, the user bases, and Xboxes, and money and revenue and everything else in between. So if you guys want to, subscribe. But of course, we have a bajillion different Best Buy links down below if you guys do want to go check those on out. A lot of really cool Yu-Gi-Oh card, Pokemon cards, like Tamagotchis, everything all linked down below. Hashtag ad and Best Buy partner. In case you guys can check those on out, of course, the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have a giveaway as well, so be on the lookout for Twitter very, very soon, or community posts around the future videos. So we have this one post over here up on Twitter, and this is how you guys know this video is going to be kind of good on that end, because this is I don't want to really say it's a bait per se, but this is definitely a little bit of a, well, comment. So right now we've been seeing a lot of big things when it comes to monthly users on how many folks are actually using the platforms like Game Pass, Xbox, or as well PlayStation as a whole. On the part two of this, we also want to know like how this kind of relates towards consoles. So I think the PlayStation 5 right now has like a few, like around like the 35, 40 million depending. Xbox is maybe around the 20, 25-ish range depending. But on top of this too, we also have things such as like Steam and people playing PlayStation games on Steam, or more so I think for Xbox, which is a bigger contributor towards the fact of Game Pass and people on PC using the Windows Store, using Game Pass, etc. And those numbers are from anything from 18 to 25 million, maybe even 30 million. No one knows. Xbox doesn't talk about it. But right now, we actually had a big kind of thing over here discussing the active user base, long-term growth, and everything else. So let's go kind of do a little bit of a breakdown of this random Twitter post. So it's kind of hard to broach into, but they initially start off by saying this. All this just to go and say that 107 million monthly active users to Xbox's 150 million, and that was apparently all before Activision. Kind of doing the high-level point that there's 150 current ongoing Xbox users versus 107 million monthly PlayStation users, which, not to be on an anti-Xbox side, I think Xbox getting Activision is great. I think Xbox long-term is going to be great. I think Game Pass is going to be great. I'm not against Xbox. The console, although a little bit on the sketchier side, but it's a different topic for a different video, and they're basically trying to go and say for this, like the user base is huge, which I do not think is actually true. First and foremost, the Xbox is like maybe nice, maybe they're factoring like very casual users or whatever, but I would almost want to say in terms of active install base, both in the PlayStation 4, PlayStation Portal, PlayStation VR, and everything else, I do not think that the PlayStation has a way less active user base than Xbox. But that's the point of 43 million. On top of that too, because don't forget, games like Call of Duty are played way more actively on PlayStation. Games like Genshin don't even pretty much exist on Xbox. And just overall, there's just a bigger install base. So it doesn't really make sense how that exists. So anyway, that's first and foremost. But I do want to talk about the revenue in a second too as well, where it does actually seem like the revenue is a big deal when it does come to, well, Xbox. So basically that starts over here with the post from Nib95 saying, it's surprising to see just how much Series X and S console sales have dropped off, with Starfield seemingly unable to make any tangible impact, which I agree on. Like right now, it does kind of seem like the Xbox console as a whole is a little bit on the sketchier side. But once again, they're always and have always been trying to reinvest into the Game Pass. So that makes a lot of sense too as well. Talking about discussions, talk about these numbers, talk about everything else too. And it's intriguing to go and see this, because Xbox has done well. Xbox is making money. If you kind of look at some of the revenue charts too as well, let's go and say in comparison for Microsoft, Xbox is a big bread and butter when it comes to Microsoft. So if you guys look at these revenue numbers over here, Xbox is profitable. Xbox has been profitable. It's kind of more of like a bigger overall look over here too. But if you guys look at some of these actual things, like Microsoft, this is like also somewhat dated for the year-wise, but like just look at the comparison-wise. And Xbox has only grown, or at least for sure stayed consistent since then. again, where no matter what, they'll make money on Xbox. They will make money on Game Pass. They will make money on these consoles and everything else into this. So Xbox is a profitable company. But at the same time, if they're expanding into Game Pass and expanding into other various sources, what's the problem with that? And as well, that also doesn't necessarily mean that the PlayStation console is going to be on the rougher side. They go and also once again saying that a lot of these numbers that they were tracking shows the Xbox Series X and S was tracking around 2.9 million ahead of the Xbox One launch, aligned with 14 months ago. But as of right now, it's actually tracking behind the Xbox One 2 as well. Kind of somewhat like referencing things like market issues and all this type of stuff. But once again, that almost would once again support this thing where it seems like Xbox is not as active, because there's just less install base, there's less user base. It makes sense. It definitely makes a lot of sense. But at the same exact time, that's not a bad thing if they're pushing more people on markets, the PS5, or like people on the PS5, they're on the PlayStation using their consoles, that's fine. But Game Pass is utilizing things like Game Pass, PC users, or trying to get things on TVs, etc. That also seems fine, just completely two different models as well. Now, this does kind of go and show that the PlayStation has been doing very good. It kind of goes to show that the PlayStation has been taking these really big estimates out of the Xbox as well. Not to like make a hate train or farm or whatever, but it is kind of a big sense. Like, I don't really think the PlayStation is technically a smaller active user base, because almost everyone I know has a PlayStation. Look at like Spider-Man. I knew so many people playing that. I knew a lot of people playing Starfield, but that was also more on PC, and that was more on Game Pass. I think almost everyone I knew who played the game played on Game Pass. And that's not bad. Like, I will say PlayStation's doing better in the console fight. But also Xbox is other things besides just the console itself, you know, at the end of the day. And especially when it comes to things like the United States market, Xbox consoles, you really would also kind of agree would be doing better. Like, you think they'd be selling better at the same exact time. But at the same also kind of information too as well, no, like the PlayStation's kind of like churning out consoles, been doing very well. It's been having a really good run up and bump up, and that's been really nice to go and see. But once again, kind of the bigger point of this big kind of Twitter troll kind of statement over here is discussing on the actual revenue numbers. Now, they're basically going to say over here where Xbox basically had a lot of good revenue on top of this type of stuff, too. So, like, it's a lot of money. We talked about this in a prior video, where as of right this second, Xbox is behind PlayStation as a whole, but with the Activision deal, if you factor in all the money they make from Call of Duty, Overwatch, Diablo, etc., they're actually going to be probably a bigger company. So it doesn't necessarily mean that Xbox is bad or Xbox is wrong. I still think the PlayStation is technically a better console, almost without any doubt in my mind. I think the PlayStation is a better console. It has better exclusives. It has better, like, I would say, install base. They have like a lot more accessories tied into it. So you think the PlayStation VR 2, think PlayStation Portal. But that's okay, because sometimes the console fight isn't really the same fight anymore. Like, I kind of think as of right now, Xbox, and has been, is just pushing for Game Pass and the ecosystem. Like, overall, like, we want people having a subscription-based model. That's fine. PlayStation wants the console market. And sometimes it's okay for those two companies to kind of split. Like, when it comes to the PlayStation, it's okay. Like, it's 100% okay for them to focus more on console. Xbox, it's 100% okay for them to focus more on Game Pass, and maybe just still have the consoles in case people want it. But at the same exact time, I still think PlayStation is winning. And like, it's not a big deal. Like, if they're both making money, they're making a good revenue, the big head honchos don't mind at all. And especially with the Activision deal, that also once again kind of reiterates the like Game Pass deal. Like, they want to have like software. They want to sell software all the time. They don't necessarily care about hardware. Hardware is hard. You have to like ship it. You have to have the logistics on it. You have to make it. You have semiconductor shortages, which also may have just also kind of wiped a lot of folks' motivation on this. And at the end of the day, it makes sense. But at the same exact time, too, as well, like, console sales are almost overrated. It's important for the Switch. It's important for the PlayStation. It's important for Xbox. But it's not the end-all, be-all at this point. PlayStation does the same thing, where they're trying to work also on movies with Sony and music and everything else, or at the same time, like, hardware like the PlayStation VR, which is fine. That's cool. That's, like, their niche. Or same with the Switch. Like, they're also trying to do movies and other various things. That's also fine. It kind of helps expand their niche. But at the same time, Xbox, if they focus more on Game Pass, I don't think we take that as a loss. I don't think we take that as a bad thing. I think we take that as like the, hey, if they can make more profit and offer a cool service, then maybe Nintendo and PlayStation may follow suit in the future with their own version of it. Like, I'm cool with that. I'm happy with that. I don't know why we haven't always to fight on this type of stuff too as well. And these numbers are intriguing, because once again, I do think the PlayStation is not under 43 million active users compared to Xbox, just based on usability, based on what people say. People in my own community, I would say. People use their Xbox, so they like it, but in terms of sales, in terms of active users, in terms of like good games out there, even look at the Call of Duty numbers that came out publicly, more people are on PlayStation, so I feel like those numbers are not necessarily right. But at the same time, like, do we even really need consoles? Is that even like the most important thing? Do we need it? No, maybe not. I have literally no idea. At this day and age, if I'm on PC and I can get all my games on PC, I just go and stick on PC. I think that's okay with me. I don't know. At the end of the day, a lot of folks were kind of weird on this take, basically saying like, hey, like there's like too much of a back and forth. Right now, in my mind, it kind of seems like these companies are equal. Right now, I kind of feel like they're both doing well. They're making money. They're expanding and having good acquisitions, making brand new games. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I don't know. I kind of rambled on this video hardcore. It's maybe we'll consider this a bonus video of all things considered. But at the end of the day, it's just intriguing. Like, I just think these consoles are fine. I think the war is weird, and I think it just kind of takes a really kind of weird, strange place. And at the end of the day, I think they're both doing good. I don't know. I don't even know what the point of this video. If you guys just enjoyed my random rambling, I should literally just go to this video like just me rambling about consoles for 10 minutes and seeing. But if you guys want to go check out the brand new Best Buy links and stuff down below, hashtag ad and Best Buy partners, a bunch of different links all down below. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream as well down below too. We also have all the Amazon links too as well if you guys want to creep on those. And subscribe if you guys are new. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Give me your thoughts and comments on any of this stuff down below.